So it turns out my covers outside have unobtainium. I wasn't even looking for these, I was searching for something else. And I found those in a bag. The last time I had a machine SRU machine was about 20 odd years ago, 15, 20 years ago. I know people have been sending me parts here and there for the project stuff, but I don't know. But yeah, sometimes hoarding pays off. So excuse me, I'm feeling a little horrible today. How's about another one? This is the second SRU board. Not as good condition as the first, but it does have a lovely original ceramic processor there. A very, very early 980, excuse me. It's also got one of these, it's an early board, it's also got one of those stand-up regulators. And I don't like them. The newer revision, like that one over there, has the heatsink lying flat. This one just stands it up, and I've found in the past that you can knock it and bang it and break the legs in these regulators. So just have to be careful of that. When I got it, it was missing its two filter caps, but I had a look in my stash and I found these lovely 800 microfarad 50 volt caps. I think they come out of TV spares or something. They're not quite the right ones, but they'll do the job perfectly. As the rest of the board, it's had a lot of work done to it. Everything's in sockets. You can see it's coming new transistors here, a couple of new transistors there. It also has a corrosion repair, which I'm a little bit curious about because there's no battery on this. So why the need to repair corrosion? I wonder if it's been sitting on something that did have a battery, because there's mild corrosion up here also. You can see it just there. It's also missing the keyway out of the program card socket. That can be a problem, because if you don't get this in exactly right, you've got 12 volt on this edge connector here, so you could potentially fry stuff. So I've put the rails back on for now, just so that's it straight. I checked visually, and I checked with a meter that these are all lined up properly, just to be sure. So the complaint with this one is, well, it's a real fault. So we'll fire it up. Yes, by the way, YouTube, usual, watching a video while making a video. And we get absolutely nothing. But that's not entirely true, we do get something. If I go on to pin 4 there, yeah, it's idling. The real drives are idling, it's in a trap mode. And off camera last night, I checked the input to this transistor over here that's responsible for the sound, and I'm getting a 300 Hz signal into the base of that transistor. So our first thing to fix is this board has a very, very common fault. Excuse me there. I told you I'm not feeling great. It's got a blown out ZTX 450 there, so we shall replace him and progress from there. Just give you gents a better look at that original processor. Date code is 49th week of 79. Also noticed somebody wasn't quite reading the schematics properly. There's a 330 microfarad 63 volt capacitor there. Should be a 6.3 volt. Now, that doesn't really matter. You can up the voltage. That's just the maximum working voltage of the capacitor, so you can increase the voltage if you want. But it does seem to suggest that there might be other issues here. If you made a mistake reading the schematics here, you might have made a mistake reading them elsewhere. This has got me fascinated. What's going on here? Why was there a need to repair corrosion damage here? If I zoom in on these transistors are correct. Yeah, the BCX30ACs, they're correct. Don't smell any burning, regulator doesn't feel excessively hot. I'm not really using it anyway. No, it wasn't it because I bypassed the regulator. I'm using the regulator in there. First protocol is to replace this transistor, and then we'll start investigating the real drive. I've got a plug made, so now I can just plug straight in. Place the ZTX 450, and we're getting weird stuff. Let's see if I can do this on camera though. Right, hold on. Hold on. Try again. I'm pressing hard on the two sockets for the selectors. So either there's a trace broken under this corrosion repair, or these sockets are shit, to coin a better phrase. Because that's now attracting all the real span. Let go and imagine after a wee while it's going to start doing weird stuff. Also, I noticed that the reset interlock on the 100Hz sync doesn't work, so there's something wrong up here. I'll look at that separately. These sockets need to come off. Right, so a few hours have passed. The two LS138 selectors are soldered down. It didn't make a great deal of a difference. Make sure this was all lined up, didn't make a great deal of a difference. I found out why the reset isn't working. That is the wrong chip. It's a 4528 that's in there. It's far too fast. It should be a 4538. I'm also suspicious of this capacitor. I'm going to change that out with a new one. And I've got a signal coming off of, what is this, IC26 here? It looks absolutely terrible. If I fire this back up, you can hear it's just not right. So 9, 10, 11. Hold on, I knocked the cable off. No, some of the reset worked there. So 9, what was it again? It's 8. It's pretty. That is absolutely atrocious, that signal. That should be a straight high-low pulse. It just doesn't look like it's driving low enough. So it's a 74 LS74 there. I think I'm going to change that out. And I'm going to change this out. I'm going to have to pick up one of these 4538s and put the proper chip in there as well. Because it isn't right. So, this just gets hilarious. Replace this. It's not made much of a difference to the reset. And then I look at this capacitor closer. Let me focus in. 100 microfarads at 10 volts. It should be 10. That capacitor there controls the length of time that retriggerable timer runs for. Now yeah, it is the wrong size. Wrong type, sorry. But with that being the wrong size, Right, so we need to replace this for a 10. somebody just wasn't reading the schematics right. I think they've seen, I don't know what they've done, but this is like 10 times, this sets the timeout pulse 10 times longer than it should be. Reset doesn't have a hope in hell of working. Right, hold on, I'll be back. Okay, several days have passed, gentlemen and ladies. I'll show you where we're at. And we don't quite reset. But then if I do this, yeah, not quite. It does reset sometimes. I found the right IC in my stash and I put that in. There's actually, I had to repair a couple of broken legs. And I replaced the pop because it was actually jammed up and seized, and replaced a couple of rusty chips here. I keep finding more mistakes. I've changed that capacitor there, that was 10 times too big by the way. That's not in the reset circuit for the board, that's in the reset circuit for that chip. But it was still completely the wrong size. I found other caps at the wrong size as well. We've got a 100 microfarad here. And that should be a 22 microfarad, so that's about 8 times power. And I think the previous one was in love with 100 microfarad caps because there's quite a few of them. And a lot of these are 220 nanofarads, not 100s. Don't think that'll make a huge difference, but they're huge. You can get smaller alternatives. They look nice, so I'll leave them on. So, oh yeah, I changed these out. Nothing wrong with these. They're just a bit big. So I'll keep these and put these back in my stash. And I'm debating whether or not to change these sockets, because I've got nice new ones there. But first thing I'm going to go do is I'm going to change this cap out to 22 microfarad, because at the minute the reset timing is completely off. If you remove this, it still attempts to reset, and the minute you take that off, that should lock the reset out because it should detect that as a missing pulse. That's basically detecting your sync pulses, and it shuts the board off if they're not there. Reset, this one doesn't. So that's where I am at the minute. It's taken a wee while to do this one, because I'm having to do it in between work shifts and I'm waiting for some parts. And those capacitors just there arrived today. Yeah, I changed this out to rule it out. I thought maybe that when it was trying to initialise the reels would sometimes spin once and lock up, and I thought maybe an opto problem. I think the opto, pretty sure the opto comes from this one. But real optics are driven for that one, sorry. Yeah, we're making slow progress. I'm going to change that capacitor and we'll see if we can get this reset circuit to behave. I've also got another one of these on order, because I think that chip in itself, although I've got it in my stash, I think that may be faulty. Yeah. Let's see how we progress. I'll show you what I mean. See, it doesn't come out of reset. But then does. And then once it's once you've got it on, it plays games normally. See? It must just be a problem with this internal reset. Right. So several days have passed, and I mean several days have passed. I think we started this around about the start of the year, and then I've been at work, I've caught cold and flu a couple of times, I've been busy with family, and I've just been taking a little bit of a break away because, well, I'm getting older and you've got to protect yourself from work and all that. Anyways, since last time we saw this, quite a few new parts arrived. I replaced the filters here. Redid the timing section here because the original parts were looking a bit sorry for themselves. It didn't. I've got the right chip in there and the right value components, but it didn't solve the fussy boot up problem. It didn't solve the problem, but it only resets when it wants to. And I was turning my head out a bit because nothing seemed to solve the problem, so I had a bit of a hunch. You'll notice we've got another chip in there now. First time. And every time. It was the CPU. Oh, that's a shame. It's a real shame because this is an original 9980. It's an original TMS 9980 from... What's that? It's a beautiful piece of computing history. But it's not good to us because it doesn't want to run properly. This one isn't great either. This is the one we pulled out of this board here. This is the one that has the random crashing problem where it just sticks outputs on whenever it wants. But it will allow me to test what this board was originally sent for. It'll allow me to test the reels and make sure they're working. And it's socketed anyway, so the owner of this board can put another chip in if he wants. Anyways, with that in mind, we can proceed. Right, I'll move some stuff out of the way. I made a reel loom. That spare Velarco plug I found. And then I've just got my power supply here and it's tied to here and here. Pin 35 is a 34 volt in and pin 1's a return. So, as we did with the first board, turn it on. We've got no load. Let's see. A bit cloudy here. Is the light on? Hold on, turn this off. A wee bit cloudy, there's a bit of a shadow in the room, but I think we have a good one here. And it's working. So, what? 9, 10, 11, 12. There are some credits. And 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh yes. Now I'm not testing optics or anything because I've not got them wired up. But the fault this was sent for was a real fault. And we don't appear to have one. It's running. Is my real cable heating up? Yeah, and we're running load. Is 0.3 amp idling. And 0.7 running. And the reels are still behaving themselves. I'm fully expecting the processor to have a crashing fit anytime soon though. This one usually does. As I said, I'm not testing the optics or anything, but everything's socketed down here and it's just a case of these transistors here and I think it's this first 251. I didn't want to overcomplicate my loom because it's getting complex enough. But yeah, CPU seems to be working. Yeah. Out credits. Reels are held nice and strong. It certainly appears to be fine. So it was quite a stroke of luck that I found that, because those are usually unobtainium. I'll be cycling through all its lamps in a track mode. There's a 259 missing here, but I know the owner of this board's got plenty. I swapped it up onto the sound section because the lights were crumbling off the original one. It looks nice. I do know. I mean, I'm not sure whether to trust that or not. I need to give it a while, so I'll come back. Yeah, there we go. Processor's crashing. That's what happens. Yeah, it crashed. And then if I leave it for a while, it'll come back. So yeah, it is the processor on this one that is. It's the processor that's at fault. This one has a flaky boot problem. Whoops. Yeah, it's got a flaky boot. And this one just starts to crash after it warms up. But unfortunately, that's the joys of these things. A new processor will solve it because everything else is working. So we'll call that the end of that. It's not a perfect repair, but it will just be a case of getting CPU for that and it'll resolve it. So that'd be that. Hope you enjoyed the videos of these things. They aren't the easiest things to work on. I've got a stack of other things I need to do, and I've got some things that I really need to be getting on with for myself. But unfortunately, work beckons. There's a lot of training courses going on now, and work is getting busy. So it might be a few weeks again before you see more videos. Maybe do a couple of wee videos tonight, just to keep the internet happy. I mean, I've only got about 100 people watch this channel anyway. This is more like it's more like video evidence of repairs and what I'm doing, what I'm up to. Not really got the time to invest the effort and what's needed to get a YouTube channel off the ground these days, but we'll keep plodding along. Anyways, bye for now. Just a wee bonus snippet, I'll let it cool down a bit. And see it's back to normal. May give it about 10-15 minutes, it's going to crash again. There's no wiring errors because there's no trace errors. There we go. It's off. Oh yeah. And crash. It actually shut down the power supply there. Anyways, new CPU.